My friends, welcome to this episode of the Outdoor Review. I hope you all are doing well. I just made it out here to Lone Wolf Mountain and already rain is falling. This is a hot tent adventure, and guess what? Maybe, just maybe, later on tonight, we're gonna get some snow. The rain here has started roughly 3 hours earlier than forecasted. That's okay though. Let it rain, let it rain. With this tent here, we could set it up in the rain and the inside stays dry. As you all can see here, I have the dune tent all set up. Think of this as an even larger, massive tent. This is huge. This tent really is gigantic. And at the same time, I think it's really cool. I do have a preview of this tent up on my channel already. Make sure to check it out. I have the primary setup done already, but there's a few more small things that I need to do, such as setting up this awning here. Let's get to it. And just like that, everyone, the tent is set up and I'm pretty much ready for tonight. And we got all of that done before the rain really began to move in. Already my jacket here is dried off and it's just sprinkling just a little bit right now. I don't believe I mentioned this already, but right now it is 48 degrees Fahrenheit and we have a strong breeze coming through the forest here. It feels incredible. The tent has now been fully set up. Camp is 100% done. For this episode, for this adventure, I'm not going to use a wood stove. And that's because the rain had already started before I left the house, and I just made a judgment call. There was a good possibility that everything here would be wet, so I decided to go with the buddy heater instead. Outside of the dune tent, the only other thing that I'm going to mention as far as gear goes is the heating pad that I brought with me. That really is a secret weapon when it comes to hot tent camping. If you're gonna have your vehicle nearby, you might as well bring a heating pad with you. And this is the reason why. An electric blanket consumes a ton of juice. A heating pad does not. And when you're cold weather camping, all you need is just a little bit of heat from a heating pad and you'll stay super, super warm. You will be surprised at how warm you stay with something that big, the size of a heating pad. It really is amazing. While you're awake, you can run your heater or your wood stove. When you're going to sleep, turn that on. Everyone, the rain is back, and it's coming down pretty good. We're not too far away from evening, so I might as well make some coffee real quick before it gets too late. Instead of doing my traditional cowboy coffee, there's something that I want to try. I don't fully understand what it is. It looks to me like it's Japanese coffee, and it says mocha ice on the package. For the life of me, I cannot figure out what mocha ice means exactly. I was thinking like mint or something maybe, but I'm not sure if that really makes sense. I have no idea. All that I know is that I want to give it a shot. Mocha ice, here we come. The heat from the stove here feels awesome. It's not terribly cold right now, but it's chilly enough, about 46 degrees or so. It is still raining, everyone. It is very, very light, but still coming down. As far as the coffee goes, it's very good. The mocha ice part, I don't fully understand. There is somewhat of like a mentholated, minty something sort of like aftertaste. I can't quite put my finger on it exactly like what it is, but it's pretty good. You know, folks, inside of this tent here, I am perfectly comfortable. The wind is coming this direction from the west. I have this wall here, it's blocking all of that. So I could sit here and I'm fully protected. Every bit of the wind is going around this tent and away. It's chilly, but it's not super cold. Later on tonight, it's gonna get down to around 30 degrees Fahrenheit. We'll have rain, maybe a little bit of freezing rain, and hopefully some snow. That's what the forecast states anyways. You know, everybody, I had to come out for the snow. This is the first opportunity of this winter season I had to come out. Hopefully we'll see some flakes. It's not going to amount to anything. With that being said though, this trip is all about getting out and experiencing it. Plus, everyone, I've been wanting to get out and use this tent for the first time. This tent here has some interesting features. First off, this is a hot tent. It has a stove jack. And get this, the inside of this tent is coated with a Mylar reflective technology. Coating, in other words. Basically, it's going to reflect back heat. So once I fire up the buddy heater, it should be super, super warm inside of this shelter. I'm pretty sure it was last winter when I was testing out the space age tent that featured basically the same technology that this does. That was a very interesting product, and the technology itself, I'm not sure if it really proved that it was worthy or not. The tent had some quality control issues that really were outstanding. Hopefully with this tent here, we will not see the same issues. Ultimately, we'll have to do some testing and find out. It's kind of funny, folks. This morning I had no intentions of coming out for a trip, but I woke up, I checked the forecast, and it said snow tonight. And I just immediately started packing my gear and I hit the road, and here we are. I could not turn it down, you know? Like, tomorrow night's supposed to be colder, but it's tonight where snow is possible. So here we are. We'll see what happens together with this trip. As an update, my friends, it is now almost 7 p.m. We've been out here for a few hours, and for most of the time, it's been raining. As it stands right now, it's really coming down. Like, it is absolutely pouring. I went ahead, I fired up the heater, buddy, and it feels so good in here. As far as the temperatures go, we're looking at the lower 40s right now. Definitely too warm to snow, but the temperature is dropping for sure. Supposedly later on tonight we should see a little bit of snow. It may be a snow shower, it may be a snow flurry. I don't care, just let it snow. That's about the only thing that I really care about for this trip. Well, I should say, I am waterproof testing the Dune tent, which I have to say, I really, really like this shelter. This is very similar to the Massive. You all may remember that tent. Unfortunately, I will not be able to finish my review of that tent because it was destroyed in the flood. I lost it. But hey, here we are with the Dune. Life is good. You know what I mean? This tent is doing really, really well as far as waterproofing goes. There's no leaking, nothing like that at all. I'm impressed, Nature Hike. Good job. As far as the silver reflective Mylar technology, coating, whatever you want to call it, is it doing anything? Not enough to make a difference. And that's pretty much what my feelings were with the other tent that I tested out. I understand what the companies are trying to achieve with this, but ultimately, does it make a difference? No, not really. Not much of one. Anyways, everyone, let's go ahead, let's get comfortable, and let's make some dinner. The green beans are awesome. A little salt, a little pepper, a little Mexican seasoning. Oh yeah. Really good. pulled chicken barbecue, a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, some barbecue sauce. That is amazing. I have no idea where this came from. Susie dug that out of the freezer for me. That is really, really good. Without a doubt, tonight I nailed dinner. This is awesome. Some good protein. We got some veggies. Not too shabby. The forecast stated that we would get less than 1/10 of an inch of rain, but we've got way more than that already. We're likely up to about 1/4 of an inch. This really has been a good waterproof test for this tent. So far, I'm really impressed. It's amazing how tender this chicken is. This is the very first rain trip that I've done since Hurricane Helene came through the area. We're back, baby. It's go time. I received a couple of questions in regards to storm camping and stuff like that. If I was still going to do it after the hurricane. Absolutely. Why not? You cannot control the weather. You cannot fight it. All you can do is try to prepare for it. And for myself, enjoy it. For me, there's nothing more exciting than going out into a good storm. With this rain event tonight, we have a little bit of rain, maybe some snow, maybe some ice. I call that perfect. The thing is that you have to respect the weather. It's just like anything else. You have to respect nature, and that includes the weather, the animal life, and so on. There's a lot of dangers out there. Weather, animals, and so on. Hurricane Helene did not change anything concerning this channel outside of where I can go camping at. Right now, everything is closed. So many roads are just destroyed or gone or half partially opened. Things are a mess. But in time, everything will reopen. And I'll be back to running the roads, hiking the mountains, on trail, off trail, so on and so forth. Concerning the hurricane that came through, there is a story that I can tell tonight, and it's one of the coolest things that I've ever seen. At the same time, it's very tragic. So basically, the hurricane had wrapped up. It dropped 24 inches of rain in this area, caused an unbelievable amount of destruction. It's over 100 dead. I'm not sure how many people are missing. Anyways, at home, where I live, we came within inches of losing the house. We were surrounded by 6 feet of water in the back. We had a foot of water in the front, and it was just inches from coming inside of the house. We have a detached office. It was destroyed, everything inside of it destroyed. That's where I lost a lot of outdoor gear, namely like big tents and stuff like this. Lost everything in the basement, all the tools and so on. Anyways, the storm had just moved out of the area. And my neighbors and I, we were outside talking, just looking at the destruction. It was just unbelievable. And at that point in time, we didn't know that someone had died just up the road a couple miles from us. We had been hearing this sound for a while, and it sounded like a Huey helicopter. It was like chop, 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 chop. Anyways, it was getting louder and louder. And down the road, we see probably one of the biggest excavators that I've ever seen with steel tracks. And it was coming down the road. Behind that excavator was a convoy of trucks, heavy machinery, guys with chainsaws. There were trucks with rafts. They had received a report that up above my house, a house had basically washed away, and that there was a mother and a child inside of that house. This convoy was basically cutting their way and pushing their way up the mountain to get to that home to try to save their lives. Unfortunately, it was too late. The mother passed away and the daughter did shortly afterwards. Seeing that convoy come through was one of the most impressive things that I've ever seen. These huge excavators and bulldozers were just pushing everything out of the way. They were making a path up that mountain to get to those people. It was, without a doubt, one of the coolest things I've ever seen. I was super impressed, and at the same time, I was very proud of my community. No doubt about it. That's a hard story to tell right there. It's awful, and at the same time, very impressive. Without a doubt, I'll never forget what I saw and what I experienced that day. I'm going to wrap up the rest of my dinner, and I'll bring you all back in just a little bit. I have a drink with me, so after dinner, we'll crack into it. I think this is about as fancy as you'll ever see me being. After this, I'm going straight to that bottle. No more of this. I don't need a glass, I don't need a cup or anything like that. Just give me the bottle, you know what I mean? Cheers, my friends. Sake. I love sake. It is like drinking water. The alcohol content is not very high, it's only 15%. But it's good. This is straight from Japan. Now, I'm not much of a drinker, to be honest. On special occasions I drink, and this here is a special occasion in my book. It's the very first rain trip after the hurricane. Things are going back to normal. Yeah. I'm so impressed with how much rain that we've received today. I mean, this is much more than what was forecasted. I mean, truly, this has been a good test for this tent. I'm very impressed with the weather and this tent. It sure is nice to be out on a trip back into the weather, you know what I mean? I'm glad that Lone Wolf Mountain is good, but now I'm ready to explore some. I am very curious about the Green Forest. The thing is, I guess the question is, can I get there? I don't know. I was looking at a road closures map the other night, trying to figure out how I could get to the Green Forest. It's not going to be easy. Just about everything I looked at, I'll be honest, it was confusing. Unfortunately, the site that I was looking at didn't have a very clear legend, so I'm not entirely sure what everything meant. I mean, red is obviously bad, but that doesn't mean it's impassable. So like, some roads were solid red, some had like slashes through it, some had like red exclamation points with like red circles and stuff. So it's one of those things where I will simply have to hit the road and go see if I can make my way up there. There's 3 different routes that I've come up with to try. So, I don't know. I'm gonna give it a shot next week. Hopefully, I'll be able to make it up there and film a trip. Usually, I don't drink unless I'm on vacation. And then when I go on vacation, I like to tie one on. Oh yeah. That's one of my favorite things to do. Go on vacation, forget about work, forget about YouTube and making videos for like a few days. And I like to sit back in the heat and just drink and have a great time. That is my style. That's my type of vacation right there. As far as the time goes, it is now 8:26. It is still raining outside. It's not turned over to snow or anything, but it's definitely chilling down. It's getting a little bit cold. Luckily, the buddy heater inside of here is perfect. This metallic coating, it doesn't do anything. Nothing at all. But in the end, the tent itself is very, very good. I'm really impressed with this. I'm really impressed with Nature Hike. That company, I mean, they pump out a lot of products. A lot of products. I mean, just about anything that you can think of in regards to the outdoor space, Nature Hike makes it. What impresses me is that they're able to make these really large tents. The quality's great, and the prices are reasonable. I mean, when you go out looking for a large tent like this, if this was from a name brand company, you would pay like $1,500, $2,000. But this here is only like $300 or $350 or something or other. I mean, for a tent of this size, of this capability, this makes a lot of sense. You know what I mean? And that price makes a lot of sense. Yes, it's pricey, but it's not $1,500. It's not $2,000. Check this out, everybody. I just heard from Susie, and she said that she saw on social media that the mountaintops surrounding Lone Wolf Mountain, they have measurable snow on them right now. I wish I could have gone to the Green Forest for this trip. That's at roughly 6,000 feet. Without a doubt, there would have been measurable snow up there. Next time, everyone. Next time. By the way, I don't think I've mentioned this in this episode, but I love my buddy, my heater buddy. Everyone, this is really, really nice. I have the heater going, the heating pad going. I am super warm, incredibly comfortable. In fact, I'm just about ready to turn off the heater. I'm going to set my alarm for 5 a.m. I have to get up really early tomorrow, and I gotta get out of here. I have a project at the house. I have numerous dump truck loads of gravel coming in, so I gotta be at the house nice and early, and I gotta basically be prepared to move some gravel. It's gonna be a long day tomorrow. I'm so glad that I came out here for this trip, though. Totally worth it. Even if I have to get up like super, super early, worth it. It's gonna be great. But, I'll tell you what, I better go to sleep. I wanted to see snow, but it may not be in the cards. Maybe by morning it'll be snow and I can see it then. But anyways, everybody, I'm going to bed. I will see you all in the morning unless something crazy happens. And if that's the case, I'll bring you all back. Good night, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. It's a little bit after 6 a.m. I have the water on. It's almost coffee time. It's doing something outside. Let's see if it's snowing real quick. It sure is, everyone. It is snowing. And now, as soon as I get outside, it switches over to rain. Too funny. The temperature is right around freezing, so we're getting this rain snow combo. Anyways, when we were outside, I noticed a light shift taking place inside of the tent. My strip light just burned out or something. It's a little bit darker in here than it was before. Good morning, everybody. It's officially morning now. Or I should say, it's officially a good morning now because of coffee. As for last night, I slept great. Super, super warm, very comfortable. I didn't run the heater at all last night, but ever so often I did turn on the heating pad, which was really, really nice. It provides just enough heat to like take the edge off, you know? So I definitely slept good. My plan for this morning is simple. Have coffee and pack up all of the small stuff and then head out. I will be leaving this tent behind because it is soaking wet. On the outside, on the inside. Propane, when you burn it, it releases moisture. So there's quite a bit of moisture on these walls. There's a lot of condensation in here. At the moment, I do not have a good way to dry out tents at home. I mentioned this in a previous episode, but during the flood, it took my deck and like ripped it off and then turned it upside down. And so it's gone. So in the future, I will replace that. But for now, I'll just leave it out here, let it dry. I'll be back in a day or so and I'll take care of it. Now, the reason why I'm rushing home though, is because my buddy is bringing gravel today. So my nephew and I, we are going to be pushing some serious gravel all around that place. It's going to be a busy day, but it's going to be a good day. Facts. Nothing feels better than making progress and getting work done. I've said this before, I think it's one of the reasons why humanity seems to be so unhappy these days. People are working, well, how should I say that? It's not like they're not working hard. That's not what I'm trying to say. But it's just a different type of work. Most of us aren't creating, we're not building. And I think that's what humans need to do. Humans need to see like the progress from their hard work, and they need to be proud of it. And if you don't see that progress, if you're not proud of it, you have millions and millions and billions of very unhappy people. This is some deep territory, deep conversation here. Possibly too deep for 7:06 a.m. I think I'll just drink coffee and be quiet. Aye. As far as gear goes for this trip, there were two pieces of gear that really shined bright, that performed well. This tent and my buddy heater. I love you, buddy. To wrap up this episode, everyone, I will tell you all a quick story. So the hurricane came through, knocked out the power, took out the internet, all that stuff. So we get our internet through Spectrum. They refused to give any sort of timeline as to when it would be back online. All that they would say was that a substation was hit by a tornado, and they had no idea when it was going to come back on for our area. Because of that, because of my jobs, not only YouTube, but my full-time job, I have to have the internet. So, I had to make a call. I had to figure out a solution. After doing a little bit of research, I decided upon Starlink, so I ordered Starlink. Within a day or two, it's in my area. The next day, it's in Texas. For some reason, FedEx shipped it here and then shipped it to Texas. So it was like lost in FedEx shipping, you know? So I had to come up with another solution. And that solution was Verizon Home Internet. That does work. I got the box, I set it up, it works great, it's super inexpensive. The next day, Spectrum comes back online, Starlink shows up, and I have Verizon Home Wireless Internet. Just like that. The point of my story is this: I have all of the data. I have all of the internet. Oh man. Why does it always work out like that? You know what I mean? When everything arrived and everything was turned back on, I was just like, oh man, why do I do this? I always go, I take everything to 1,000, right? I don't do anything half-assed or anything like that. I go all out. So I need a solution, I'm going to find a solution. I'm going to have backup solutions. And now I'm in this position. Oh man. While I love being inside of this tent, being nice and warm, it is time for me to go home. I have some work to do. Next week, everyone, I'm going to share with you all something that I've been going through for the last 4 or 5 months or so. It has been a very interesting last couple of months for myself. And that's where I will end this episode. Everyone, thank you so very much for joining me for this trip. I really do appreciate it. On to the next adventure. You guys hear that owl? Go to sleep. It's too late for you. Alright, I gotta go. Everyone, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this episode, do hit the thumbs up. I really do appreciate it. Make sure to check out my second YouTube channel, A Quiet Place Adventures. Every single week, a new adventure. Oh yeah. This was fantastic. But now, I need to go do some serious work. Bye, everybody.